Who was the most guilty person to get a not guilty verdict? Most famous is O.J. probably. O.J. is the obvious answer because of the trial of the century, but just for fun I'm going to go with Ken McElroy's Unidentified Killers, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Ken_McElroy #1981_killing, who managed to escape even being identified despite there being potentially 46 eyewitnesses. Think about how many people are spending life in prison or were executed by the state because of just one eyewitness. And yet dozens of people suddenly didn't see nothing, **shrug **, when it came to McElroy's daytime execution in a hail of bullets. Kids, no one is handing out grades for how you live your life, but if you're the sort of person whom an entire town will rally around your killers because you're that big of a POS, well, you failed. Emmett Till's murderers. Everyone involved in the Tulsa Race Massacre or Greenwood. Everyone who was involved in the lynching of Hazel Turner, Mary Turner, and the immolation of their unborn child. Belva Gartner was arrested for the murder of Walter Law in 1924. He was found dead in her car, shot with her gun, and she was wearing bloody clothes when the police arrested her. But she was acquitted at trial, and the case became the inspiration for the musical Chicago. Gabe Watson killed his wife 11 days after their wedding while scuba diving. Was extradited to the U.S. and was acquitted despite multiple people seeing him bear hug her while she was struggling underwater. I'm gonna get downvoted for this, but MJ. R. Kelly, when there was a video pissing on an underage girl. Got away with that one, I believe. Jimmy Savile died never being prosecuted for his horrific crimes against children. Emmett Till's murderers publicly admitted to torturing and killing him after they'd been acquitted and weren't able to be retried due to double jeopardy laws at the time. Robert Durst comes to my mind, killed his neighbor and dumped him in the ocean, then claimed self-defense. Casey Anthony. I just can't with that bitch. O.J. was so notorious that it spawned a whole fame-hungry family beginning with Robert Kardashian. Trump as related to the impeachment trial in the Senate. George Zimmerman, 2013, is contentious possibility. I believe legal scholars actually think not guilty was correct, even though large swathes of the public disagreed. Karla Homolka. She deserves all the hate she gets and may it last her entire life. The people who murdered Emmett Till. Roy and Carolyn Bryant and J. W. Millam. The man who killed Mary Jo Kopechne is the first to come to my mind. Followed by O.J. Simpson. Simpson is the obvious answer, but wasn't Casey Anthony found not guilty as well? Michael Turney, https://n.wikipedia.org/wiki/disappearance_of_Alyssa_Turney, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/disappearance_of_Alyssa_Turney. One that hasn't been mentioned yet, Vince McMahon getting acquitted for his steroid trial. O.J. 100%, then that Rittenhouse kid. The only correct answer is O.J. Everyone's gonna say O.J., and I agree, but I don't remember his case, as I was still in utero at the time of his trial. The most obviously guilty person who was found innocent, whose trial I remember watching, is definitively Casey Anthony. How anyone could have reasonable doubt is beyond me. O.J. is the obvious answer, but Kyle Rittenhouse deserves a mention. Candy Montgomery wouldn't necessarily say she'd be at the top of the list, but she should definitely be on it. The orange cunt is guilty as fuck, but isn't arrested for anything. Edit. Thanks for the downvotes, you brain-dead/brainwashed sheep. Birmingham church bombers. O.J., MJ and Casey Anthony. The men who killed Emmett Till. O.J. that he got off because the LAPD insisted on trying to frame a guilty man. They created the reasonable doubt themselves. O.J. Simpson. Absolutely guilty. Betty Shelby, Terrence Crutcher. O.J. Then next is Casey Anthony. Everyone got the two major ones that come to mind, O.J. and Casey Anthony, but Ted Kennedy was drunk driving and killed his passenger, and got off with a license suspension. Robert Wagner likely killed his wife in an argument on a yacht. Casey Anthony and O.J. Simpson. O.J. all day, no one else compares. The killers of Emmett Till, the the jurors literally admitted they were guilty but said they didn't think white people should be punished for killing black people. R. Kelly was acquitted of 14 counts of child pornography because the search where the authorities found it was ruled illegal. He went on to re-offend for 10 more years. There is no most guilty, because guilty is guilty. Their most egregious verdict was for the cops that beat Rodney King, which most likely lead to O.J. Simpson being declared innocent. An actual verdict, as opposed to people who were never prosecuted because they died or escaped. O.J. Simpson for sure. O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony, and Roy Bryant/J.W. Millam come to mind. I don't think he's gone on trial, but the fact that Aaron Solomon, https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=4DQJJMFJSM, is still a free man despite almost certainly killing his son and being an alleged abuser is wild to me. There are different justice systems in the U.S. depending on your connections and wealth. Trump gave himself a not guilty verdict. Does that count? The two men who killed Emmett Till, Roy Bryant and his half-brother J.W. Millam, and it ain't even close. O.J. Simpson and Casey Anthony. Really, Orenthal? O.J. without a doubt in the U.S. In my lifetime that I've seen. O.J., Casey Anthony are probably tied. It's certainly not, Leon Gary Plosh, https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/killing_Jeffrey_Doucet?wprov=SF Law 1, who shot a child molester on live TV at the airport with many witnesses. Technically he pled guilty, but was only given community service. All of you clearly don't know about politicians in my country. For safety reasons, I can't name any names. O.J. Simpson, obviously. But the glove didn't fit. That idiot George Zimmerman. Racist clown. Physical embodiment of a busybody male Karen. Roy Bryant and J.W. Millam, they are the ones who lynched and killed Emmett Till in 1955. Imagine the most racists and informal court trial you'd expect from 1950 #Mississippi. Now imagine 300 reporters and activists sitting and watching this shitshow take place. I think Norm Macdonald had a few thoughts on this exact subject. O.J. Simpson, Casey Anthony. Trump weaseled out of a guilty on his impeachment trial. Casey Anthony and O.J. Simpson are duking it out for first place. Casey Anthony comes to mind. It should be noted that she wasn't deemed innocent, she was not guilty. Supposedly there wasn't enough concrete evidence to convict her. Of course there's proving, and then there's knowing. She definitely did that shit. All of the rapists who got away with it because the system is awful. The Hockey Canada defendants. The Prohibition-era bootlegger George Remus. His wife had an affair and filed for divorce. On the way to the courthouse, he had his driver chase down the vehicle his wife was in and caused it to run off the road. He then exited his vehicle and shot her in the stomach. All of this happened at a public park in broad daylight in front of several witnesses. He pleaded transitory insanity, and lo and behold, it actually worked. He was acquitted of murdering his wife.